here, playing my buddy Shane. We're going to do 1850 ITC Mission 4. Go ahead, we deployed all of our guys. Go ahead and point out where all the objectives are real fast. So my objective 1 is right here in this ruins. Objective 2 is in the center in this big building, and I put number 3 right there out in the open. Shane's he's got his number 3 right here under my knight. Number 2 is right by that ruins right there, and his number 1 is underneath his riptide. Alright, so we got KDK with Demon Allies versus Tau Riptide Wing and some Whoopie Guevaras. Alright, so I'll go over my list real fast. I got 2 units Pink Horrors. This one right here has Cursed Earth. Got 2 units of Cultist Squads here. I got my Khorne Lord with the Bloodthirster Axe and my dogs. I got the Khorne Demon Knight right here. I have a unit of Seekers with a Herald on it's my Space Marine / Demon Herald on a Disc of Tzeentch. He has Possession, and these Pink Horrors back here have Sacrifice. And hiding out in the very back, I got Bellicor, just chilling. Alright, currently I have first turn. Oh, and I have my 2 Helldrakes. I got them off on the side. I'm going to be using the new flying detachment from Death from Above, so I'll have air superiority. Alright, we'll go over Shane's list here real fast.
There you go. Cool. Hi, I'm Shane. So this is my Tau army. I've got my HQ Warlord is my Farsight model. Obviously, kind of going with the Khorne Chaos theme here. So he's going to be the HQ and a CAD. The rest of my CAD is going to be some Crisis Suits as troops. So I have 3 double Flamer Crisis Suits, just individual. I have 1 double Ion Crisis Suit individual, and then 3 double Melta Crisis Suits. So it's going to be 5 troops. Also within the CAD, I have 2 Guevaras and a Void Shield Generator. Obviously kind of in progress, but it's getting there. Then beyond that, I have a Riptide Wing, which obviously is these 3 Riptides right here. I am running them as bursts this time. I know they're equipped with Ion, so they're not quite WYSIWYG at the moment. And then the other formation I have is the Drone Net, which is these 4 squads that are very heavily clumped. It's 4 squads of 4 marker drones.
Yep. Alright, well, that's the list here. So, we got KDK versus some Khorne Tau. So, go ahead and, you want to try to roll for Seize the Initiative here?
Sure. Nope.
Yes. Alright. Looks like Khorne will be going first. Alright, see you at the end of KDK turn 1. Alright, end of KDK turn 1. Went ahead, scout moved, and then moved up the Khorne Lord and the dogs here to get on objective 3. Speaking of which, my objectives this turn are hold objective 3 and kill a unit. Killing a unit, I knew that wasn't going to happen, but I had 2 kill units and an objective, so stuck with holding objective 3. So moved up cultists, kind of swarming around this objective 3 right here. Just in case all his firepower come my way. Ran these cultists up, moved the knight up, and the only psychic power that I got off was cursed. No, I didn't get Cursed Earth off.
Nope.
The only thing I got off was the Grimoire, which I put on the knight there. So he's rocking a 3 up. That was my whole turn. Was just kind of moving stuff around, preparing to see what these Tau do. Also, we are not using the new FAQ. We're just using the new Death from Above rules. So the Void Shield still is the old school way and all that jazz. So that was the end of my turn 1. We'll see what Shane can do in his turn 1.
All right, so bottom of turn 1. The Guevaras shifted over here, deleted the Fleshhounds and the Lord, along with the 2 of the Riptides. The Deep Thirster popped out around over here, and I had one squad of Merker drones and one Riptide left, and I managed to actually destroy him with just the one Riptide. It's pretty good rolls on my part, some not so good rolls on his part, unfortunately. One of my drones murdered himself trying to get out of this crater, which never ceases to fail for me, apparently. Dangerous terrain checks are the bane of my drones. Everything else pretty much shifted this way with the intent of getting the hell away from the night, because obviously a 3-up invul on a night is not the most friendly thing in the world.
Yeah, man.
The only other thing is the drone that died actually caused that unit to flee, because I failed their morale check on top of that, so they're currently running away. Thankfully, they managed to stay in front of the rest of the Riptides, so they're still blocking.
Yep. And your objectives were to kill 2 units, which you did. Yeah, right there. Yep. They it's all good though, cause blood tithe. All right. We'll go ahead. And I already rolled my turn, so my Helldrakes came in, so it's gonna be good. We'll see you at the end of KDK turn 2. All right, so end of KDK turn 2. Both my Helldrakes came on. Didn't really do a lot with them. I went ahead, brought the knight up, ran the cultists up. Be'lakor flew over here. That was really the movement phase. Then my pink horse back here summoned in a herald. He's just kind of chilling back there. Be'lakor did psychic shriek on this Yavara here. I only managed to do 1 wound to him though, because he made all of his invul saves. Helldrakes tried their best, but that dang void shield blocked most of it. Only killed a few of the guys outside. My knight ran in, dropped a pie plate, did 1 wound to this guy, only 1 wound to one of the drones. I mistakenly earlier said we're not using the new FAQ. We are actually doing it with the new FAQ. So he was able to multi-assault in, took out 2 whole drone squads, and then the other one ran off, getting me some blood tithe. And backtracking a little bit, my Seekers flew over the Void Shield and used their little Lamprey's Bite, whatever the hell it's called, and managed to do 1 hull point to it. Seemed like a more eventful turn, but I guess it wasn't. That's what I managed to do. Now my knight's got to try to survive this. Fortunately, I do have air superiority, so he's going to have -2 to his reserve rolls for all these crisis suits coming in. All right, so we'll see you at the end of Tau turn 2.
All right, so bottom of turn 2. Highlights are I moved a little bit closer with the 2 Yavaras to the knight. He failed his Grimoire on his turn, but got invisibility, so I thought I'd go for it, try and hit him with all the Riptides at once. Unfortunately, I didn't really measure the range from my Void Shield first, so this Yavara was actually outside the Void Shield, and I shot with it first. So I popped 2 hull points off my own Void Shield, like a champ. Needless to say, after I made that mistake, I did a little course correction and shot at it with these 2 and this Yavara, which was over here initially during my movement and shooting phase, and did pretty much nothing. He had 1 demon save to make, and he passed it on a 6.
Yeah.
So since none of these Riptides moved, I used my Hailfire this turn. So instead of shooting more at this knight, I instead decided to delete the 3 Screamers and the Herald with a Grimoire that was here initially, which thankfully that worked for me. And my 2 objectives for this turn were destroy 2 units, so I'll be getting that, obviously. That really was the majority of my turn, other than the 2 Yavaras trying to get back away from this knight again, and these drones running away from cultists that are trying to get them in close combat.
Yeah, and a huge thing that happened this turn is I'm really, for my KDK list, since I run a butt ton of Helldrakes, my air superiority plus my warlord trait that gives him a -1 to his reserves, totaling a -3 for his reserves, resulted in all these guys right there, plus big boy back there, not coming in this turn. So he needs a 6 to bring in any of his reserves, which I am totally cool with my knight in his deployment zone and all that Milta sitting over there. All right, so see you at the end of KDK turn 3. All right, that was the end of KDK turn 3. Pretty good turn for Khorne here. Let's see. So my knight had moved up to get himself close for another double assault on the riptides that were here. He ended up coming up and doing what he does. He assaulted 2 units, and he killed both those the riptide and the Yavara that were there. Be'lakor had flown over this way and had a brain fart and failed his he had perils of the warp for his psychic shriek, but then it rolled high enough to wound the riptide there. I ended up summoning in another herald over here. Another herald ran back into the building. Cultists just kind of moved around a little bit. Helldrakes, they came forward, and again, another thing about this Death from Above, I'm really liking how Flyers, at least for Helldrakes, are working in this. The Helldrake here flew up and then used his agility to turn to the side. Both Helldrakes put their flame templates into the drones that were there. Another thing, my Helldrakes rolled the whatever ability where they can use their Demon Forge every turn for the whole game. So that's pretty nice, basically re-rolling all my wounds. As it is right now, unfortunately, Tau still have a -3 modifier for their reserves, and I'm all up in his deployment zone. So we'll see if Shane can get some luck here. It's the end of KDK turn 3. We're going into bottom of 3.
All right, here we are at bottom of 3. I had a lot of decisions to make with the 4 models I had. I managed to roll a 6 to get one of my Flamer Crisis Suits in, which was really nice. He came in over here, and first he flamed the cultist unit that was holding Objective 2, and then he managed to get into assault and murder the last 2 that were remaining. So he managed to get me a point for Maelstrom, because my 2 objectives were to kill 2 units. Also, these 2 Riptides moved farther away from the knight and shot at the cultist unit that was here and annihilated that. And then obviously they didn't get far enough away with their jump moves. This one's probably going to eat it from the knight on his turn. The Yavara, who was over here, decided to say, screw this, and came over to play with pink horrors, which as you can see right now, there's 1 pink horror left. Shot both weapons at it. There was a few left, got in close combat, and killed them down to 1. Yeah, that pretty much sums up my my turn 3 there.
I will say he killed all my cultists, so now I have no one to sacrifice to bring in that Bloodthirster again. So, sad face. Alright, here we go. It's going to be the top of turn 4. Alright, end of KDK turn 4. My objectives were hold objective 1, which I've had almost all game, right there, and destroy a unit. Kind of a lot less on the board. I ended up, because he killed those cultists, I had to bring in a lower tier of blood tithes, so I brought in the blood crushers here, and they bounced over here. I moved the herald up to try to assault or do something to that crisis suit that's in there. Big boy right here, he moved forward, ended up shooting and destroying the void shield, and then wounding the riptide, and failed my charge against the riptide, so unfortunately wasn't able to kill him. Be'lakor went to the ground, flew forward, tried to terrify and then psychic shriek that guy to death and hopefully make him run off the board. Unfortunately didn't happen. Pink Horror's back here, summoned in another herald, running a herald model, so I'm having to use my Chaos Space Marines. So that was a pretty uneventful turn. I mean, I did get one of my Maelstroms by destroying the Void Shield there. So going into Tau turn 4, and all those guys finally get to join the game. Oh, My Helldrakes did fly off and Vector Strike oh boy there for 1 wound. So they'll come back on the following turn. But yep, that's it. It's into the KDK turn 4, going into Tau turn 4.
Alright, here we are at the bottom of turn 4. My Maelstroms this turn were hold objective 3 and destroy a unit. My reserves came in, which was nice, because I haven't had those for a little while.
Yeah, just
so I had the Ion Suit initially tried to come in over there and mishapped and went back into ongoing, so I still have something in reserve. Then I had Flamer Suit come down here. He tried to kill the Herald and did nothing, so he just moved forward, hopefully trying to get some business in. Farsight and the Melta Suits came in, put shots into the Pink Horrors, and they went to ground for a 3-up cover save and pretty much laughed in my face. But that's okay. We'll see how it goes. This Flamer Suit over here landed over this way, killed the 1 wound Herald that was left, and then moved over this way. This Flamer Suit jumped into close combat with the Yavara and killed this last Pink Horror. The Yavara did it, but, you know, morale. The 2 Riptides that were over here shot over at the Blood Crushers and 1 shot over at Be'lakor futilely, and then used their extra thrust move to essentially get the hell away from this stuff. He definitely couldn't make it far enough to need be, so he's going to try and be in the way more than anything. Really highlights of the turn is I killed a Herald, so I got my destroy unit, killed that Pink Horror, and I'm sitting on A3, so maybe I'll get it. We'll see.
Yep, alright, that's the end of Tau turn 4. We're going into KDK turn 5. We'll see if that's the last turn or not. I gotta pull it out. Alright. Alright, end of Khorne Daemonkin turn 5. I had hold objective 3 and destroy a unit. So started my turn. I cashed in the Blood Tithe that I had. I brought in some Khorne dogs. I put them on objective 3. They scattered over. I ran them back. I'm trying to just circle that as best I can. The Blood Knight ran over here, assaulted into the Riptide. Just went ahead and got him out of the way. 6'd him out in close combat. Be'lakor hopped the destroyed Void Shield, stayed within 3 of this objective. He's been failing his psychic streak all game, and he continued doing just that. Failed all of his psychic attacks towards the Riptide that's in the rocks right there, but did manage again, like champ, kept sticking invisibility on the Khorne Knight. The Blood Crushers that I summoned in last turn ended up running up. I moved them to where I could potentially assault these guys, but I thought better of it. It wasn't really worth it, so I just kind of brought them back. Try to block this as best I can from them moving over. Both the Helldrakes that were in ongoing reserves, they came back on. They both did their Torrent Flamer into the command squad here. Ended up killing 2 and then wounding the last guy and then the commander here. The other Herald ran out from under the rocks, or under the rubble, to just kind of mean mug this guy right here with his buddy. So right now they're blankly staring at him. I thought better about assaulting him. I figured I'll just issue a staring contest instead of an assault. So that was the end of a KDK turn 5. So going into maybe the last turn, Tau's got 1 last dude come in, and we'll see what Shane can do here.
Alright, so this bottom of 5, and turns out is the end of the game. So I didn't have a lot of options left. Basically, I just kind of did some shuffle. The Ion Suit obviously came in. He, along with this Yavara and this Flamer Suit, obliterated the 2 Blood Crushers that were left, so he wasn't holding this objective anymore. I tried to get Farsight and that that Melta Suit into close combat with the Pink Horrors, but rolled a 2 for my charge, so that obviously didn't happen. But we are still contesting with OPSEC, so at least no one's taken this point. This Flamer Suit murdered one of the Heralds, just for the sake of getting a kill point, I guess. Oh, I guess really the money maker this turn was definitely my Riptide, who currently doesn't have a top torso. So he shot Be'lakor with smart missiles and his burst cannon, did 1 wound with shooting, and on the charge that I made a 9-inch charge on, he killed Be'lakor with Hammer of Wrath. So that was pretty critical. That gave me Big Game Hunter for this, as well as I'm holding Objective 1. But even with still that, Jake's going to win the primary because he has a 3-point objective and 5 points worth of killing fast attack. I have obviously a 3-point and a 1-point plus 1 point of fast attack. So that's going to give me 5 to 8. So he's going to definitely win the primary. Based upon secondary objectives, every turn I pretty much had kill a unit and hold one objective, I think, for 1 turn, which I succeeded. So I'm going to take secondary. And for the tertiaries, we're Big Game Hunter, Line Breaker, and Slay the Warlord. We both have Line Breaker. I killed his Chaos Lord, which is his Warlord, in the first turn. And I have Big Game Hunter through killing Be'lakor. So then it ends up with a win for Tau by winning Maelstrom and the tertiary objectives.
Yep, came down to that Big Game Hunter killing Be'lakor, or else I would have had it on that Yavara. Yep, but it's all right. Blood for the blood god. Khorne versus Khorne, kind of. All right, well, that was this 1850 match. Try to get a few more in. All right, guys. Later.